So I came across this awesome YouTube series called Blank on Blank, Blank on Blank, which I guess means the interviewer on the celebrity, but it's being brought to you by PBS. It's great animation, interesting interviews, and there's a ton of YouTube videos. They've been doing it for a while, so you could just get lost in these blank on blanks. And there is 4 different profiles. Just wanted to make a comment. I took a couple notes on them, so I just want to comment on an interview by Kurt Cobain, an interview by Morrison, Jimi, Hendrix, Tupac, and Carl Sagan. So we'll end off with Carl Sagan. Let's start off from the top. Kurt Cobain, right? And he's got a lot of good music, a little sad, a little depressing. I think he actually, I don't know if he started suicide music, but he perfected it. There was this something in the way. All his are just kind of like, you know, but something in the way, something in the way. So the interview, Kurt Cobain, he said that his childhood was great until the divorce. He wanted a perfect family like everybody else. He couldn't face his friends. So that's some high pressure in America. What, your parents are divorced? Hey, old Kurt Cobain's got divorced parents. What a piece of shit, huh? His family ain't perfect. Like, that's incredible that, you know, Kurt Cobain had to go through that. If anything, you know, you should have watched Talladega Nights. Those 2 kids were happy. They heard about the divorce. They were like, yeah, 2 Christmases. So, you know, he probably should have talked to somebody. Kurt Cobain felt very, I guess, that he had a, you know, solid, and then it changed. I don't know. Maybe he'll never trust again. But the divorce, it just seems weird. I don't know. Kurt Cobain, you know, I think he kills himself if, you know, it wasn't Courtney Love. So that's the official version, right? He had suicide music, so he was definitely depressed, you know, and sad. Maybe it was the divorce. But I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, Kurt. It's like you're expecting, if people aren't meant to be together, they're not meant to be together, and forcing them to be together could only make the problem worse. So I feel like he blamed it on that, but I bet you there's some other stuff going on too. So Kurt Cobain, he felt very different, right? So there's that. He felt very different from everybody in high school, and he thought that's why everybody stayed away from him. He was just so different. Kurt Cobain thought he himself was gay. His mother was actually homophobic and wouldn't let Kurt Cobain have a gay friend. You have a gay friend? Get him out of here. Kurt Cobain felt like his high school would vote for him to be the most likely to kill everybody at a high school dance. So he's scary, but he's also, you know, homosexual. It's almost like people are just putting their own, you know, horse shit on him. He loved being in Cork, Ireland. He has Irish heritage, and so I can identify with this. I have, you know, Bavarian, Bohemian, Prussian, and African, and mostly German, but it was before Germany was a country, roots. And being a bland white potato now, I actually got some flavor. So when he was in Cork, Ireland, he heard that he was, you know, Irish, and then he was in Ireland. He's just looking around like, holy shit, this used to be the land where his ancestors was from. And he said that the whole day he was just kind of in a stupor. Kurt Cobain was friends with females more so than males. He said women are very oppressed. Kurt Cobain said that Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin were sexist, and that all their songs were about their dicks. Led Zeppelin, there's a couple Led Zeppelin songs I like. What do they sing? And they sing like, oh, Led Zeppelin, don't you cry for me. You got the Led Zeppelin and the Led Zeppelin, 40 greatest Led Zeppelin songs of all time. Of all time! RollingStone.com, huh? They're going to start with 40, and then I got to, like, click 40 times. In the evening. Alright, so Moby Dick. Okay, 31. I feel like there's, like, maybe a Stairway to Heaven, yeah. Kashmir. Kashmir's not too bad. So, Kashmir, what's Kashmir? Let's listen to it, huh? Am I able to do this? Are they going to... Oh, my God. Maybe if I talk a little bit. Cashmere, I remember, sounded good. So, Led Zeppelin, right? He's saying that he doesn't... I remember I had a cousin that said Kurt Cobain is why rock and roll was, rock and roll was dead because of Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain killed... It's just a life, it's just to feel the face. I don't know, Stairway to Heaven. I'm not sure exactly what he's talking about. They're just singing about their dicks, bro. So it's interesting to hear a counter-narrative to, the old rockers. Hey, we're the rockers, and we know how to rock. Kurt Cobain, he doesn't rock the way that we rock. Kurt Cobain was different, so he changed, the rock game, but if you don't like him, fast forward. What the hell? You got to sit there and make him one guy, where is he born? One guy born out of what, Tennessee? Hey, that one guy born out of Tennessee, he ruined all of rock and roll. Nobody could ever ruin hip-hop. Nobody can ever ruin rock and roll. All the great songs are always going to be great songs until the day Kurt Donald Cobain. He was born in Washington, Aberdeen, Washington State. So, yeah, don't know why he was so sad. He said actually that's where he sang from the pains in his stomach, his ulcer from his anger and from screaming. So Kurt Cobain is just screaming and yelling, and he's got an ulcer in his stomach. That's where he sings, from the pain in his stomach, and I get that. I could deal with anger, and I could deal, with happiness, of course, but sadness is just... What do you do with it? You had something and now it's not there. And it'll never come back. So what do you do with it? What do you do with death? Kurt Cobain, I'm glad he left all these people. Jim Morrison, all these people, they did something on this planet before they left, and we get to say, hey, these people were here and they did stuff. And he's got good songs. I still listen to Kurt Cobain, some of his songs today. All these, actually, Tupac, Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Riders on the Storm. I used to hate that song. Jim Morrison, though, he's got Break On Through to the Other Side. Day destroys the night. Night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Jim was poetic, kind of weirdo, but a good weirdo, right? Kurt Cobain also, there's a mosquito. But Jim Morrison, in the interview, on PBS, he said that fat is beautiful after the interviewer said that he looked fat. Eggs, grits, sausages, and toast and milk felt like a tank. He said he ate eggs, grits, sausages, toast, milk, and he was getting big, and when he was walking through, the hallways, he just felt like a large mammal, felt like a tank. And he said he was solid. It's way better to be solid than to be thin and wispy and just get knocked over by a strong wind. He said, fat is beautiful. And then they asked, well, how much you weigh? And he goes, 150 pounds. So, fat is beautiful. Jim Morrison was pretty slender, but I think he makes a good point there, right? If you're just thin and wispy, a wind will just push you over. Whereas if you're big and fat, you're a strong-ass tank. In third world countries, right, fat people they're like gods, right? I mean, my God. Anyways, Jimi Hendrix, he's got the Star Spangled Banner, right? Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock. Uses art to highlight your reality. He was part of the 27 Club. I guess he's going to die at 27. Him and Janis Joplin. What did Hendrix die of? What did Janis Joplin die of? Janis Joplin, there was a Janis Joplin interview too. She had said, I like Janis Joplin. Hold on. Just another little piece of my heart now, baby. But she was talking about living. There was an article, and they was real critical of her, and she really took it to heart. because she wants everyone to love her, and so like, oh, but the damn critics, they criticize me. So Jimi Hendrix is James Marshall Hendrix, actually born Johnny Allen. So you think he's Jimi Hendrix? So Jimi Hendrix, right, he was, the way he talked was actually interesting. He was like, hey, you know, I'm just kind of doing what I do, you know, whatever. And he just seemed like real cool. He died in England, London, England, Kensington, September 18th, 1970, age 27. What in the fuck did you do, London, England? Details are disputed concerning Hendrix's last day in death. He spent much of Thursday. Monica Danneman in London, the only witness to his final hours. Danneman said she prepared a meal for them at the apartment around 11 p.m. They shared a bottle of wine, drove him to the residence of an acquaintance at approximately 1:45 a.m., where he remained for about an hour before she picked him up and drove him back to her flat at 3 a.m. Then she said that they talked around until 7 a.m., They went to sleep. Danneman awoke around 11 a.m., found Hendrix breathing, but unconscious and unresponsive. So wherever they went to, right, he got some drugs, and it's a bad batch of drugs. Damn. Coroner said a post-mortem examination performed. Forensic pathologist completed the inquest. Hendrix aspirated his own vomit, died of asphyxia while intoxicated on barbiturates. He aspirated on his own vomit, and so he just choked on his own vomit. Fuck. That's a shitty way to fucking go out. One of the greatest guitarists of all time. Danneman later revealed Hendrix had taken 9 of her prescribed Vesperex sleeping tablets, 18 times the recommended dosage. 9 of them. So, yeah, he's going to die in London, England. So thanks a lot, London, England, you pricks. And then Janis Joplin, Hollywood, California. Who's the other one? Who's part of the 27 Club? There's 3 of them, right? Jim Morrison, Brian Jones, too. So, okay, I already talked about Kurt Cobain. Wow. Okay, so I guess I like all the 27 Club. Let's see. A heroin overdose for Janis Joplin. So, Jesus Christ. These artists are wonderful. They give us, they're immortal. Their songs, I feel like if a person has touched you in any way, touched your heart, touched your soul, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, if they somehow got to you, that's a gift. That's a gift for all, to the end, as long as the internet and YouTube holds up. So Jimi Hendrix, hey baby, what's going on, baby? Jimi Hendrix says that he sang 1960s blues. The change that he wanted to see more color in the streets. He wasn't real political. He says that art highlights reality, so he kind of uses art to, in general, his vibe was the blues, 1960s blues. Said that music in general is just too heavy. And Jimi Hendrix says that he's helium, the lightest gas known to man. I'm helium, baby. Tupac said that thug life was violence on the streets combined with self-determination of Black Panthers, which is fantastic, right? Black Panthers came about because of the failure of MLK and the integrationist nonviolent movement, and then they went to Black Panthers, and then I guess Tupac came because of the failure of the Black Panthers. They all got arrested, so that's, it doesn't help. But Tupac is like, shit, there's just violence on the streets regardless, whether we actually got organization and whether or not we are making sure the cops are being checked, make sure our kids are, have breakfast. So, fuck it, we can't have breakfast programs of the Black Panthers, then thug life, right? So Tupac's in jail, and he says, they asked him, are you a role model? He says, no, I see myself as real. So he's not a role model. He ain't trying to, get people to look up to him. He just says he's a real person. Says media is against him. Says he's got more honor and truth than journalists do. And he's a thug. The media is against him, printing this, printing that. And he's like, God, I got more honor and truth than journalists do. And he's a thug, which is, that's probably true. Tupac says he doesn't rob and steal or beat folks up because he don't want to be in jail. But I wonder about if he's just saying that, but it does seem like it's not Tupac, it's the thug life, you know. Tupac himself, he may have participated in some thug shit, but he was a singer, right? He was a singer, and he liked doing music videos and shit, and hanging out with his boys, and smoking weed, and he loved women, right? Writing poetry to women. So, he's a thug, but he's kind of like a prophet, a thug prophet, right? He's like the rose that grew out of concrete, the rose that, you know, grew out of the sewer. So, when Dan Quayle said that Tupac's albums should be pulled from the shelves, Tupac said he was crushed. Absolutely crushed, because his own government is saying that the songs that he's putting out there, they couldn't be sung. Dan Quayle says they'd be pulled from the shelves. I mean, what a weird... Tupac is crushed by something Dan Quayle said. Dan Quayle can't spell potato, right? And that, like, what ended his whole political career. He don't know how to spell potato. Well, shit. Might as well close that door. Good night, Dan Quayle. That's the end of your political career. He added a what? What kind of letter did he add at the end of potato? An E. Remember when it just took like one dumb scandal to end a person's political career? Now, like, in the age post-Trump, whew, you could just fuck up and fuck up and fuck up and double down and triple down. So yeah, Black Panthers came about because of the failure of civil rights and integration. We got Thug Life because the Black Panthers failed. We got Huey Newton because MLK failed. And we got Tupac because Huey Newton failed. And, you know, free Huey. Huey got thrown in jail, and he had the government against him. Tupac had the government against him. MLK had the government against him. They're all black folks. So when it comes to Ahmaud Arbery, I don't know if, you know, if he ever had a chance to begin with. Ahmaud Arbery, he was a black man, strong, strapping black man who, you know, jogged along the streets. And there's a construction site, and he went into the construction site and looked around, which, you know, he shouldn't have done. But I've gone to construction sites before, too. And I, you know, took pictures because of before and after. That construction site will never be the same as it, you know, as it was right then and there. Anyways, I'll talk about that in a minute. Last interview is Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan said a bunch of fascinating things. We humanity, we just discovered radio and satellite. So we're throwing out radio signals, satellite signals. Now, if aliens do contact us, if those radio and satellite signals actually hit an alien, they would have to have radio and satellite, meaning we just discovered it. They'd had it for a while. Therefore, the aliens that we contact and communicate with would have to be smarter than us. So if we are to contact aliens, unless we go to their planet to discover them, for right now, the aliens would have to be smarter than us, and they would have to discover us. Earth is 4.6 billion years old, says Carl Sagan, so the Bible is wrong. Carl Sagan just shitting all over the Bible, just attacking Christianity by saying Earth is 4.6 billion years old. Who does Carl Sagan think he is? He also says we're not the center of the universe. Oh my God, the Catholic Church would have lynched Carl Sagan for sure. Not even close to the center of the universe. And where are we at? He says we're 30,000 light years from the center of the Milky Way galaxy, and the galaxy is just one of millions, if not billions, but we're 30,000 light years away from the center of the Milky Way galaxy. So we're actually in the galactic boondocks of space. The center of the universe? No, we're off to the fucking side, and that's, you know, probably a good thing. These smart-ass aliens, they could be friendly, but they might also be fucking terrible. It's just best to avoid them altogether, you know? So it's a good thing we're in the galactic boondocks space. We can stay away from them goddamn predator aliens, the Lyranian bastards. You know what I'm saying? It's alright. Nobody does. Peace.